Don't blow your $1,000-$2,000 gaming system on water cooling when you don't know what you're doing. So let's talk fans. For fans, preferably you want 120mm fans. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with 80, 90, 60, or 250 or 350, however how they go. But the best performance is in the 120mm. And the best setup I have found myself: two intake, two fans in the front of the system, pulling air in. You want, if you can, you want two exhaust. But if your case only supports one will be okay. And have one fan blowing in intake on the graphics card if possible. See, the graphic card has its own cooler on it, but if you have a 120mm fan pulling in from outside, pushing air down, the graphics card's gonna, it's like a 60mm fan on most graphics cards. It'll be easier for it to get fresh cold air, besides relying on the two intakes from the front of the case to come all the way through. Now, as for where to put them, again, this is if your case can be supported in this configuration, but I try having one on the very bottom, one on the very top. Put your DVD drives and everything in between the two. Now, on the bottom, if you have one hard drive, put it right in the middle of the fan. Now, what this does is you have one intake blowing cold air straight to the exhaust through the processor cooling, and then you have one intake on the bottom blowing in to assist the graphics card. And if you have a one card graphics setup or even a dual graphics setup, this is great for that. So that is my suggestion on cases. Another thing you want to look at is airflow, CMF. The higher the airflow, the louder the fan will be, but the more air you're going to pull. Now, normal is like 60, like here 63. High would be 80 to 100, and anything below 50 is considered low. Now, if you want to get below 50, you're going to get a nice quiet fan. 60 is about normal, and anything above 80 is going to be kind of loud. Also, look at the bearing types. Some bearings sound different than others. Look at the power connection. Like there's a 3-pin. I know most are 4-pin. Yeah, see, power connection 4-pin. Now, 3-pin is a little connector you put on the motherboard itself. A 4-pin is the big blocky one that comes out of your power supply, if you didn't know that. So make sure you have plenty of 4-pins. Also, most 4-pin fans will come with something to plug into one slot. Then it'll come with a branch off, so you can plug another fan right into it, and you can power two fans with one power connection off the power supply. Very useful. As for price, personally, I wouldn't go above $8 per fan. We have fans here for $3.99, and this is a pretty large market. We've already scaled about 20 fans here, and we haven't even hit $6 here. We got 6, 7. So yeah, the whole first page, everything below $6.99, and you can get some nice looking fans for $6.99. Here's a good red one that looks really nice. You get, if you don't like that, you got you got some black, you got some red. Here's a clear. We have clear LCD, LED, my bad. And oh, there's a nice one. That's nice and bright. Here's a blue one. So, don't buy nothing too expensive. You don't need a $20 fan. Don't do that. Don't get dual kits for fans. Just buy two cheap ones. Dual kit's like $15 for two fans. You can buy a fan $3.99. It's $8 versus $15. You ain't got to count on shipping. So, preferably you want 3 to 4 fans, 120mm if you can get it. Nothing wrong with 60. If you have a side fan with a large 250mm fan, take it off. I'm not trying to joke here. Take the fan off, or 350. A fan that large will disrupt the airflow from the intake and exhaust through your system. It will blow down so much air over such a large area that it will mess up the current of air going through the case. You don't want that. Assisting said current is great, but don't destroy it, Okay, so next up, I have memory on my list, but let's go motherboards. Got kind of a cold today. Sorry. So motherboards, we have either Intel or AMD. Now, you want to buy your processor first, then you want to buy the motherboard, then you buy the memory, then you buy the power supply, then you buy the graphics card. That's how this process should work if you're building a PC. Now, this is totally what motherboard. There's so many models. Just get what you need. Now, I would recommend staying in the $100 price range because AMD, I use BioStar, so I'm showing this brand. AMD has a beautiful motherboard, which I use personally, for 99 bucks. It has HDMI, DVI, VGA out, the brand new 790GX chipset. It has 4 RAM slots on it, each max out at 1066. You have a nice little cooler on that front side bus. Here's our front bridge. My bad, not front side bus. Our front bridge cooler and our south bridge cooler. Here we have our 6 SATA connections. It's really nice. We have dual PCI 2.0 slots. I believe they're 8x a piece in dual configuration. Don't quote me though. And then Intel, pretty much the same layout. We have a different Northbridge cooler. It's our Intel pipe. These are a bit more spread out. Here's your Southbridge cooler, your dual. Here's your SATAs. It's pretty much the same board, just kind of has a different layout. $10 more expensive though, but you know. But go with what you need. If you're gonna do one card, buy a board with 1 slot. If you're gonna do 2, buy a board with 2 slots. Make sure you get the most advanced Northbridge you can buy for the money. Make sure you get the highest one. You know, don't say, well, you know, there's nothing wrong with AMD 6. Yes, it is. It's not as fast as AMD 7. It's not as fast as, you know, P35 ain't good as P45. X38 ain't as good as X48. You know, just get the best Northbridge you can buy. Get the highest hyper transport for AMD. Get the highest front side bus you can buy. Make sure you get at least DDR2 800. I wouldn't mess with DDR3. It's not fast enough. In benchmarks, it is not a extreme jump of performance to really mess with something when you buy one. Look, I can get 4 gigs of DDR2 800. Look at that price, $58.99. 4 gigabyte, 2 gig cards, DDR2 800. That is awesome pricing. Let's go look at DDR3. Okay, come on, open up. There we go. DDR3. Let's look at the lowest one we got. Here we go. 24.